the physiological and neurological benefits of walking.
Walking is one of the most powerful medicines. It lengthens your life, decreasing anxiety and depression, reducing cortisol. It's good for digestion, strengthening your immune system. If we just look at the research on steps, anything below 2,000 steps, which is 1 mile, you actually start seeing the risk of diseases going up.
In this video, family, we'll break down how to implement walking in a way that benefits you and I, that increases our chances of longevity, that improves our overall health, and see why and how we can go about implementing this into our lifestyle on a daily basis. It is absolutely necessary. Allow us to allow him to continue.
Then when you get up to about 4,500 steps, which is a little over 2 miles, you start to see cardiovascular benefits. If you go a little more past 7,000 steps, you start seeing a lot more benefits, including living longer. One of the things that will nullify the benefits of walking is sitting too long, and then thinking that I can go ride my bike around the block and that will be enough to counter that. Unfortunately, it's not quite true. Let's first talk about the benefit of what walking can do to your blood sugar. Walking after a meal really will help any extra sugar that you ate. Of course, I know some people are going to go, wow, I can just eat more sugar and walk. Well, I'm not trying to put out that message.
So again, we must also take this information and this advice and apply it to our unique situation. All of us are uniquely different, and depending on what we've done to this human organism, what damage that we've done, will have a great impact on the results we get from any modality that we implement. So in my specific case, I do walking a lot myself, but I also do it strategically because I naturally reverse my type 2 diabetic condition. However, the damage that I've done to this human organism, my blood sugar shoots through the roof still, even if I'm just eating carbs, and even protein can shoot my blood sugar through the roof. So I have to be strategic. And I walk, generally speaking, I do 15-minute walks 3 to 4 times throughout the day. I've recently implemented going to Tanglewood. This is a place in the surrounding areas where I do my morning walk and usually an afternoon walk. I'm going to increase those steps up past 7,000. I had it at that at one time, but figuring out how to get that in, and with my new situation, I've had to make some adjustments. And this is one thing that you and I must come to realize. We'll likely have to make adjustments because certain things that worked before may not necessarily work now due to our body's unique state of being in this present moment. Allow us to get back to him. He has some great information. I'm gonna reduce myself on the screen. We'll bring him back up and we'll allow him to speak his truth.
Another thing in the morning, when you wake up with high blood glucose, especially if they're a pre-diabetic or a diabetic, walking can handle that too, because you can go for a walk in the morning and burn off that excess glucose, which would be a very, very good thing because we don't want the glucose converting into fat. Walking activates your muscles, significantly improves depression because it's a low stress activity where you get a lot of oxygen. If we compare walking to drugs, let's take high blood pressure medication. Guess what? Walking lowers your blood pressure. As far as weight loss goes, yes, you're going to lose weight with walking, especially in the belly area, visceral fat. But when
this is what he's saying has some truth, but allow me to jump in and clarify one thing. Walking alone is not going, I don't care how much you walk, walking alone is not going to reduce belly fat. You're going to have to make sure that you understand what your cortisol levels are, and you will need to understand what type of food or foods that you're eating and what it is doing to your glucose, your blood sugar. So you have to understand that if you are chronic or have a chronic cortisol condition, then even if you're walking, which can reduce cortisol, you still have to know or come to an understanding of when it's the best time for you to walk and when it's the best time for you to feed your body in a specific way in order to target that belly fat. He's not wrong that walking can reduce belly fat in individuals who are not dealing with any major hormonal situations. So with those individuals who may be menopause or postmenopausal, you are going to want to try to look at how your cortisol is reacting to your walks, and you definitely have to dial in on the nutrition. You don't want to continuously raise cortisol in a way that it stores belly fat. And pretty much all exercise, save gentle walking, will release cortisol. And when cortisol is released, not in the presence of HGH, which is activated when we're working out or when we're in the fasted state as well, then you run the risk of keeping that belly fat instead of losing the belly fat. So allow us to get back in it, and then I'll give you one more tip, then I'll get on up out of here. I don't want to keep it too long. Let me exit the screen. Let's bring him up again. Allow him to talk.
When you exercise, you're going to be increasing muscle, and that weighs a little bit more than fat. Instead of focusing on weight loss,
muscle does not weigh more than fat. Muscle takes up less space than fat. And this is where we get that the misunderstanding. No, muscle does not weigh more than fat. A pound of muscle, allow me to pull myself up a little bit higher. A pound of muscle and a pound of fat is a pound. The difference is fat takes up this amount of space, that pound of fat. The pound of muscle may take up this amount of space. So where you will see the benefit of you building the muscle would be in the inches more so than the shifting of the scale. You'll see something on the scale drop, but you'll notice the inches. And even if you're at 130 pounds and you are, say, 70% muscle, you're going to look different than the person at the same height that you are, at the same weight, 130 pounds, who has only 50% muscle and 50% fat. You understand what I'm saying? So again, the weight only tells part of the story. The inches and the weight tell more of the story, and the inches for sure tell the story when it comes to that muscle gain and the fat loss. So he has some great information. If you like his video, again, I'll see if I can leave a link. I know I can do it in the YouTube, but I don't know if I can do it for my personal clients who is seeing this on the drive. All right. So have a beautiful day. Remember this: you want to walk, but you want to make sure that the brisk walk is not necessarily the best walk for those who have chronic cortisol. He goes on to mention about brisk walking being more beneficial, and it can be for those who are not saddled with chronic cortisol issues or a spike in cortisol that happens repeatedly. Also, another thing that you want to understand is this: you can, instead of waking up and eating right away, for many of you, it may be best that you take a while, a walk, a casual walk for 30 minutes for an hour before you eat anything, because again, most of us are waking up and our body wakes up in this state in the sense that the body releases cortisol and the liver breaks down glycogen in order to feed the body and wakes it up. So you're going to have higher blood sugar and you're going to have insulin rising in the morning. And this is called the dawn phenomenon. All of us experience it. Many of us experience it to different degrees. So for those of us who are dealing with belly fat, It'll be wise if you're not fasting like I am for a prolonged period of time. If you're gonna eat in the morning, wait about an hour after you wake up and after you have walked at least 30 minutes in order to put that food into your system. And you want a gentle walk. Have a beautiful day.